The Mountain Billy Gun Labs Goat-15. Look at this tiny little thing. Sub 3 pound, 20% size reduction from an AR-15, 22 LR rifle. Fun little thing, I think. Coming up next, you'll see my absolute first shots with the gun. I'll take it to the What's for Dinner table to see what the gun eats. We'll, of course, see how the mags run fully stuffed. No spinner because 22 won't move the spinner. And then we'll do some practical accuracy coming up next on I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a fun one. And everyone say hello to the new Target camera. If you watched the last couple videos, the Target camera of old died on me, forcing me to film without one. And unfortunately, the only way to fix that was to replace it. So brand new, more than a month's revenue spent on the Target camera is set up. I have a 0 target at 7 yards. That's what I'm going to set this up for so that What's for Dinner isn't crazy. And I've got some Remington golden bullets. Hope they work. Don't know how that goes. So it's going to be a different kind of first shots because, well, I'm zeroing as we go. I don't know if that chambered or not. Sounded different. Aim center. This is an O-Sight X, the large window one. My hand barely fits on the grip. Looks like I'm hitting about 4 inches low. And I thought this would also be entertaining for you guys to see the zero process. Since, I don't know about you guys, but every red dot I've had, it's got the up arrow and the right arrow. But whether or not that's impacting point of impact or reticle is never really clear until you start messing with it, and then it annoys me. So I'm going to give it a good spin for up. And a slight spin for right, since that's where we need the impact to shift. Let's see what that gets us. That gave us about an inch up and about a ½ inch to the right. So good to know on these O-sights that the arrow direction is giving you direction of impact, not direction of aim, which is nice, but we're going to need a lot of up. Very technical way of zeroing. Well, we're about halfway there. How about a lot more up? Hard to see those tiny holes. Looks like I need another inch worth of up. The wandering left and right is because I'm doing this freehand. I think that landed right on top of the last one. We had a failure to fire. Let's see what that round looks like. And it's somehow magically gone. But that's 22. This is why What's for Dinner will be more than 3 rounds this time. Another failure to fire. This is not good. 2 in a row. Pretty slim chance, although my bulk 22 does rest in the garage. I do not see a strike on the rim. There is a strike on the rim, so could be a bad round. Again, a little more up, a little left. Yeah, and that's close enough for me, especially for shooting freehand. Initial impressions, this is really soft shooting, of course, because it's a 22. Pretty fun, and I'm sure you saw it's because it weighs under 3 pounds, it just whips around. It's really, really easy handling. Let's go over to the steel from 25 yards and see how that zero works for us. Now, over at about 25 yards away from a little A-zone piece of steel, thanks to Thor targets, 10 more rounds of those golden bullets. We'll see how this zero holds. If it works for 25, then it's good enough for me for a fun little 22. Another failure to fire with it not extracting all the way. This doesn't look good. I wonder if it's a gun issue or an ammo issue. Fired that time. Ammo issue. And now we've got another struggle here. This is the universal problem with 22s. Is the ammo is not the greatest. Did not go all the way into battery that time. Which is why what's for dinner will be extra important. Now not going all the way in the battery again. Quite problematic. There is no forward assist on this, because if it's 22 and you have to jam it in, there's probably a problem. And theoretically, no 22 is life or death, but now I'm getting frustrated. We'll skip this and take the Remington golden bullet bucket off the list and head over to What's for Dinner, where I have a mix of some fresh 22 I've recently picked up and some stuff that's been sitting in the garage for a while. And What's for Dinner is going to be a little bit different. This time we're going to run 5 rounds, because if you've shot 22, you know they're not always good loads. Anyways, we're running from 36 grain up to 60 grain today. I did not include the little 20 grainers because they're specifically labeled as not for rifles, and I don't want a round stuck in the barrel. But we got the Chewdums, we've got Federal Classics, we've got some PMC Sidewinders, some Federal Game Shock, the Mini Mags. From Aguila, we've got 2 types of Super Extra, the copper plated and non-copper plated. Then 2 mystery loads from SK. This is premium ammo, but they don't want to tell you what the rounds load. Then the Super Subsonic Sniper, or sorry, Cyper Subsonic, too many S's, 60 grainers. Gonna run 5 loads. We're looking to see, will it run the gun? Will it cycle from slide lock? Are we gonna have any interesting point of impact changes? And I'll be using this target at 7 yards for these 5-shot groups. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the moment that, especially with a 22, should save you some money and time if we can identify ammo that runs well in this little fun thing. Starting off with our lightest is the 36 grain CCI Chewdums. I don't even know if these are still on the market, but I had a big brick of them years ago. Failure to extract that time. Ooh, that round is not happy in there. Yep. All right, so we had one fail, and notably low right impact with that 36 grain compared to the 40 grain golden bullet that we zeroed with, which is kind of interesting. Next up, some Federal Classic 38 grainers. Certainly fed nicer. That sounded different and was smokier. No issues there. I wonder what was up with that one weird round. I don't know if you guys heard the difference on your end or not. PMC Sidewinders, 40 grain. It looks like my 0 might just be a little bit low, or maybe it's the lightweight ones. We'll find out. Stock keeps collapsing a little bit on me. Grouped about the same. I'll reload the next 3. I'm not adjusting 0 because we want to see if there's a difference in point of impact with these loads. Next up is the Federal Game Shock 40 grain. That shot nicer. You notice the point of impact was also a wee bit higher. This is exactly why I didn't adjust the 0. Next, we have the CCI Mini Mag 22 segmented hollow point. Notably lower impacts, but ran really well. CCI Mini Mag, the standard ones, 40 grains. Hope this is showing you guys just how much 22 ammo can vary. That was me. Yeah, that's good stuff. I was throwing a little bit, but from a bench, I bet that does really well. Next up, we have the Aguila Super Extra 40 grainer, not copper plated. That shot very nice, very comfortable, very smooth feeding. The gun cycled better in it. Smells a bit like clean tools. Let's see how the Aguila Super Extra copper plated does. Sounded different, a little bit higher pitch, and we had a different point of impact, a little bit higher. Also smells nice. I can't put a description to it, sorry guys. Now on to some bougie stuff, the SK Long Range Match of mystery weight. It looks to me like a 40 grainer, but who knows, maybe there's some magic secret in there. This is a waxed bullet, which makes feeding, at least into the magazine, pretty nice. See if it gums up the gun or not. That's going to be probably a multi-round test. Quieter. Much quieter. And some decent groupings in there. 2 more loads to go, including the SK Rifle Match. This is a 40, oh no, this is not labeled, but it is also a waxed bullet. And I'd say that's properly labeled as match ammo. That shot very nicely. Our heaviest load is the Aguila Super Subsonic 60 grainer. This one, and sorry about the backlit, it's the Northwest. This is what happens here. But it basically looks like a 22 short case with a really long bullet in it. Be curious to see how this runs, especially because with as quiet as 22 is, if you have a 22 can, you can make it silly quiet. That stuff was really smoky. I had the stock collapse on me again. It may be that I'm running it past its last indentation on there. You got to keep in mind, this is a tiny little gun that weighs less than 3 pounds. I'm over 6'1", over 250 pounds, so I might be putting a little too much force on this. But overall, I think we identified what the gun likes. I'd say the heavier type loads are probably best. Looks like this run, the SK Match, did best. Yeah, consistently best with the SK Match. Also, number 7, the Aguila Super Extra 40 grain copper plated did really well. To be fair to you guys, fair to the gun, and fair to the Remington bucket of golden bullets, I've got 10 more rounds of it. We're back over at that 20-yard piece of steel. Let's see if maybe the gun just didn't need to be broken in a little bit, kind of warmed up before running, because we had minimal issues in What's for Dinner. So I'm really curious, especially since I have a whole bucket of that bucket of bullets. No, it's that ammo. That stuff. And that, for the record, damn, is actual Remington. It's before the bankruptcy, before Rem Arms and Remington Ammo Company were created. Yeah, all kinds of trouble. I don't know why, but I'm tempted to just continue struggling through this magazine. I don't think that chambered. Nope. So we got 3 out of 10. Definitely a no-go with Remington. After shots on this slightly different review, I am tempted to sit down at a bench and try to throw some good ammo at 25 yards and see how I can do. Though at this point, using just a red dot and with my eyes, I think that's more of a test of my marksmanship than it is of the gun. I think we saw the potential there in What's for Dinner. Reliability wise, like most 22s, it's a matter of having quality ammunition and keeping that ammunition safe. Now that bucket of bullets is a sealed bucket and has some desiccant in it, but it's also been sitting in the garage for a while. So maybe it's not even that. Also, as I mentioned in my second attempt to shoot that stuff, that was from actual Remington, which doesn't exist anymore. So anything new that you find on a store shelf now is going to be Remington Ammunition Company, made differently under different people, post bankruptcy, all that kind of stuff. May even be a different factory. So really not a fair test there. But What's for Dinner, we saw the gun run well. We also found some loads that shot a little more accurate than others. We found some loads that shot a little softer than others. The trigger on this thing is not the lightest or softest. It requires being deliberate. Because everything's shrunk down, you can't swap in like a standard AR trigger. I don't know if Mountain Billy Gun Labs is working on a lighter trigger or maybe a match trigger option. That might be something to consider. Otherwise, it was really fun. If you're familiar with an AR, you can be familiar with this, or if you're teaching someone and they get familiar with this, they will be familiar with an AR, which is great. The other issue I had may have been me, and now I can't simulate it here, but a couple times the stock came off of what is the most extended portion. As I said, I'm not a small person, so I had this thing extended as far as I could to try to get a little more comfort for my shooting hand, because it is tiny. I mean, you can see my hand almost goes across the magazine well. The mag release is actually way back here because everything is shrunk down. That's not a negative for the gun. That's just like with handguns or any other gun, matching the size of the person to the size of the firearm. This is a wee bit small for me, but it's deliberately small. Super lightweight, would make great for packing. I mean, it's under 3 pounds, so if you wanted to take it on a hike and be able to plink when you get to a destination or something like that, or if you've got some property and you want to just go out and have fun, this is an easy thing to bring. 22 ammo is so lightweight and inexpensive, easy to bring that as well. So I think this is a fun addition to your arsenal of options. Pretty cool little piece. How dirty to get, I'll find out when I take it back to do photos for the article. Speaking of, as always, for full specs, where you can find this stuff, all that kind of thing, check the pinned comment. That's where I put that stuff, since it's not safe to post it on YouTube. And as a reminder, it is threaded 1/2x28, so it's ready for common suppressors. I need to get a 22 suppressor. I bet this is loads of fun with a 22 suppressor. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you to our Patreon supporters. GBGuns and I do 2 level. Derek S. Jr., Joseph T. Algie, Peter A. Tom Scott King. Riley Rich. Moises S. Fast Eddie. Talent 115 Marvin T. David F. Donald H. Jenna I. K. Thanks for the tip, lover.